Oh, that looks so sick.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Dlzonwlz podcast, brought to you by Spirit Peaks. Yeah, you heard me right. Every other episode has been brought to you by Dlzonwlz, but this episode, episode number 10, is actually brought to you by Spirit Peaks. We partnered up with them about a week ago, and I went to one of their events over the weekend, and we pretty much bonded and figured out a business plan for how we're going to support each other in the future, so I'm definitely excited to announce that Dlzonwlz and Spirit Peaks Raceway are now partnered up. But we don't have anyone from Spirit Peaks for episode 10, but we do have a very, very special guest, the owner of Skreet Garage and this beautiful, beautiful LS1 swapped IS300 that you guys saw in the introductory clips. This is Jayson. Jayson, tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do for a living right now.
Alright, y'all. Jayson Cruz. This is my main gig now. Skreet Garage is my main gig. Basically, I just turn a drift car to almost a show car kind of deal, you know? Okay. Yeah.
So, and we're in your beautiful shop right now. This shop is this is at your place. You do this all from your house.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Coming along.
And tell me a couple of the builds that you've worked on in the past, and what you did to them. Basically, what you do when you get a car, when they bring them to you. What condition are they in, and then what is the end goal and pretty much what you set out to do for every one of your customers.
Yeah, so basically it depends on what the customer wants. And, like, if they say, like, oh, I want this to be, like, a showroom material kind of deal, so I'll take more time, you know? So, but, like, if they want just, like, okay, like, quick turnarounds, drift car, whatever, boom, like, it usually takes me, like, a week, you know? So, it really depends. It really varies on what the customer wants or what their demand is and how much work I need to put in it. For sure. And yeah.
Do you have a specific brand you work on, or just pretty much anything that's built to go sideways? And
yeah, pretty much. So, like, I love working on S chassis.
Yeah.
I love saving S chassis. Because, like, most kids nowadays, they're just like, oh, I'm gonna buy S chassis and I'm gonna put it on the wall.
Yeah.
No, me, I want to buy S chassis, make it look pretty again, and basically just save it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do like the OEM kind of
OEM look, you know, OEM with a little touch of a hot boyness on it.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's a nice combination that you can do.
Exactly.
But how many have you had S13s in the past, S14s in the past? What is your history with the 240SX?
I've owned about like 6, 7 S chassis. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And and all of them have been. I never tracked any of them. I tracked, I think, one.
Okay.
That was my very first S chassis.
Were any of them swapped, or most of them?
Most of them are like KA and stuff, you know, and yeah. Like I said, I don't like. I buy them to cruise in them because I already have a drift car to kind of like, you know.
For sure. And this is your drift car. This is the car that you've been dedicating most of your time and effort into for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Tell me about what this car is, for anyone that pretty much wouldn't even know by looking at it.
Yeah.
What is it?
So basically, this is an IS300 Lexus 2002.
Okay.
It's been swapped by a shop in Cali. And long story short, my friend ended up with that car already built. I bought it off of my friend. He didn't want to sell it to anyone, but it happened to have, he's just like, you know what, dude, I don't drive it anymore. Might as well sell it.
And was he down in California or he's in the Pacific Northwest?
He's in Pacific Northwest. He's an actual local. Yeah. He's like, handed me the keys, gave me the money, boom.
Nice. And at that point, it was already LS1 swaps, because this has a truck, or not a truck motor in it. It's a...
I think it's a C5 Corvette motor.
A Corvette engine, which is a big V8, lots of power, probably triple the horsepower that this thing came with stock.
Yeah, exactly. So before that, I had a stock IS200 before this car.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to get another IS200, but different swap. Like, I want more power.
For sure.
But, like, I didn't want to spend the money and, like, all the time and stuff. That's just, I was like, I'm going to be practical and buy a LS swap car.
For sure.
Yeah.
And this was local. Had you seen your buddy with this car for a while, or were you drooling over it when he had it, or was it always just kind of another car that one of your friends had?
Actually, I've been wanting this car, and I've been asking him for, like, a year, ever since I met him.
Yeah.
I was like, you selling your car? He said, no. And another buddy told me that he was planning on selling the car, but he didn't want to post it.
Gotcha.
So I hit him up, sold my M3 and my other IS300 for this to buy it. But I'm happy.
Yeah. And the previous owner built it, did they build it for drifting, or did they build it more as just, what did they build it for?
It was more of a street use, like, a street car, like a weekend car kind of deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they built it as like a show car and street car at the same time.
And was it full BN kit? Was what was done to it at that point, body wise?
Body wise, it was actually everything was done already. Like,
gotcha.
Minus the wing and yeah. So basically, what I did to it, I just changed the seat, changed the wheels, dialed it in the way I drive it, changed the wing. And refresh the whole underneath, like, bushing and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
And we painted it because it used to be black.
Oh, it was black.
Yeah, it was black at one point.
Okay. And what is this? Toyota red? What red is this?
This is a Viper red.
Oh, it is Viper red.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect.
Shout out to Derek, by the way. He sold me the paint.
Nice. Oh yeah. When you bought this thing, was your intention to drift it? Or did you buy it as a show car? Or did you look at it and say, I want to slide that thing into other cars?
I bought it mainly for drifting.
Okay.
So it's a dedicated drift car. So, like, at first I was, like, very skeptical, like, sliding it because it was super beautiful when I first got it. And then I was like, you know what? I bought this for one purpose, and I'm going to do it.
Have fun and
slide. And, like, and especially, like, what I actually do now for a living, like, it doesn't really hurt me if I break something.
Yeah, for sure. Let's say, what was the first drift event that you did with it? Did you street drive it there? Did you trailer it? Tell me a little bit about your first event in the LS swapped IS300.
So, first time I parked in this car, it was like 2 weeks after I bought the car, we hit the track day with the previous owner.
Okay. And Park is the go-kart track down in Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
What city in Oregon?
Camas, Oregon.
Yeah, Camas, Oregon. And then, so you tell me about the story going down to Park for the first time.
Trailered it. Did great. Tandem with a lot of friends. I was still, like, getting used to the power and stuff because, like, I came from an underpowered car.
Yeah.
And
how long had you been drifting your other IS before this? Do you have a lot of drifting background before actually stepping into this car?
Yeah, yes and no. Like, I wasn't really very competitive. I'm just, like, more of a seasonal driver, I'd say. I go open drift here and there with the friends, But, so I got the stock IS. I took it, like, one drift event, and I fell in love because, like, it was just, like, 4 doors swinging and stuff is just it's different, you know.
For sure. And then so it obviously performed well at park. What have you had any accidents with this thing? What's your worst crash with the IS, either on track or off track, or have you had accidents on and off track?
All right, this is gonna be a good one. So first time drifting this at Evergreen, which is like the opening season for DriftCon this year.
Okay.
It was a team tandem. I was drifting with JR and Jared.
Okay. Jared Robinson.
Yeah, Jared Robinson. So basically, long story short, we were battling against 3-6 Mafia.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
bunch of E36s.
Yeah. Good drivers, hands down. Good drivers.
For sure.
Battle for third. It was just me and Jared because one of our the second driver, my teammate, his car caught on fire. So
it did?
He had to sit out.
Man.
So like basically, we were just battling for third. Put in the super old tires, and I was in third, going ham. Hit the first corner. I washed pretty bad on third gear, and I hit the tire wall or the tractor tires.
Oh, the
right
tractor
below,
tire.
yeah,
big one?
right below the 3/8 bank, right?
Okay.
So that dented my quarter panel, snapped my spindle, bent my TEs.
Damn, that's a hard tire.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a bad crash. A Street Shark day, I didn't bring a trailer or anything because I figured Evergreen was like an hour and a half from here.
For sure.
So, yeah, miscalculated it.
So you and your teammate were both having to tow their cars home?
No, it was just me.
Oh,
it was just me, yeah.
He caught his car on fire but still was able to drive it home?
Yeah, no, he got a trailer. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you break it, and did you have to drive it home? Or?
No, I had to borrow my friend's trailer because it was a lot closer to my house.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you brought it home, fixed the quarter panel up as best as you could.
Fixed it up, refreshed the whole paint, threw the livery on. That's what it looks like that now.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about this livery. I see that you've got a couple of the brands scattered across the car.
Yeah, so basically I got sponsored by Reptile. Is a local shop. He's my friend. We go way back.
Okay.
He just did me some graphics and stuff. So Holly, Sparko, and Race, I just put it on there to kind of like complete the look. Like, I'm not really sponsored by them. I wish though. Hey, Sparko, Holly, Race,
hit up Skreet Garage.
Hit up Skreet Garage if you guys,
want to send us some more
help
parts.
Help your boy out a little bit.
For sure.
But
you obviously have the Spark. You have the parts on the car. Obviously,
yeah,
you have the Sparko seats. You have the Holly EFI. Is it the ECU that's Holly, or what's Holly on this?
The fuel rail and some Holly goodies in there.
Gotcha, some fueling stuff.
Yeah.
What is done to the LS? How much power does it make? And what's done to it?
So it has Pro 2 cam, and I haven't built this. Should I read it?
Sure.
I gotta go through it.
Yeah.
So as far as I remember, I couldn't find the build sheet, but there's a build sheet that the previous owner sent to me. The original owner actually built it. Pro 2 cam, just quarter polish, dual wall springs and stuff,
Okay.
Holly fuel rail, everything fully rebuilt from top to bottom, including the transmission. It's running on open source tune. It's pushing like 409 to the wheels and a 412 torque.
It's got a lot of torque. It's a torque monster.
Yeah, so it's conservative tuned right now. It's not pushing a lot, but it's perfect for the way I drive.
Sure.
I'm not asking for like too much power.
Yeah, and it's reliable.
It's reliable. Yeah, it's solid. Like all I do when I go to the track, change the oil, turn the key, and go.
For sure. Have you driven Spirit Peaks with this car yet?
Yeah.
Good.
2 times.
Nice. You like that track as well?
I love that track. Spirit Peaks is like the party track.
Yeah. If you want seat time, go to Spirit Peaks.
Yeah. And a lot of tandems and stuff. It's just
for sure.
I love that track, hands down.
Tell me a little bit about the furthest that you've street driven this car, because you obviously when I got here today, he said that he was running a little bit late, so I was expecting him to pull up in his daily driver, but he was out driving the IS on the street. I wasn't expecting this thing to be street legal and driven on the street, but you obviously still drive this on the street. Yes. How does it perform on the street?
It draws a lot of attention.
I bet
that. I got expired tabs, so
calling yourself out.
Yeah. It's a little sketchy, but feels like as long as you know how to talk to the officer, if they pull you over, they'll let you go. For sure. Yeah.
But you've never run into really any impounding situation where they try to take the car or anything?
No, not yet, but...
How does it perform in traffic? Does it have a pretty big fan on it to keep it cool?
Yeah, so I'm running Mishimoto fans right now. It's not the best, but it's doing it. It's cutting it,
Yeah.
Yeah, it overheats.
It does.
LS in general, they run so hot. They run like 330 Fahrenheit all the time. Yeah,
that's hot.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like gotta get used to it, especially without heater. Without AC in it.
Yeah. Without any air conditioning inside, it's pretty hard to maintain any temperature.
Yeah.
And is this a sunroof car? Does it have a sunroof?
Sunroof, yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's see. What's the furthest you've street driven?
Okay, so
where have you taken it?
Street driven, Evergreen. So Street Shark to Evergreen, the last drift on we did. It was the drift on. It was raining.
Yeah.
It was that rainy drift on.
Still got wipers? Wipers functional?
Well, wipers good. Street Shark, and we ended up with a podium.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was stoked. I was like this close ditching the event because like I had wet socks.
Yeah.
I forgot, like, my trailer took a shade. That's why Street Shark. So, Street Shark, throwing my spares on there, and what's it called? Just drove it there. I forgot all my clothes, my water, my Red Bull, and all that stuff. Been running like 2 hours of sleep.
So you got there, competed, and took home a little bit of a trophy.
Yeah, pulled it off with a little hardware,
Hell yeah. How many competitions have you driven in?
I was just 2.
Just 2.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm not really like trying to get in competition like that, but I was planning on doing grassroots next year.
For sure. I think this would definitely be a competitive car in the grassroots, especially at Evergreen. I know that a lot of cars, they're not really... they're competitive, but everyone at Evergreen
they're all chill.
They're just trying to have fun.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the biggest thing about Evergreen and Evergreen Drift is everyone's just trying to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a period of time, like 4 or 5 years ago, where it got pretty competitive, and I think when Orion Dinovich was trying to get his Pro 2 license, everyone was... Anyways.
Let's not get on details.
So if you could build this car to be any other chassis, like if you could have any other chassis and have all of these modifications done to any other car, what would that car be?
Good question.
Do you have any regrets of picking the IS300, or you're pretty happy with this thing?
I'm pretty happy with it, but like if I'm gonna do all the mods that like the way it performs right now, I would put in an E93.
E93.
M3.
What generation is that?
It's a BMW 2000. They started in 2008.
Okay, so one of the newer BMW chassis.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've had one of those, and I like how it drives, like how it handles and stuff. But I just don't like I like their motor. They're the best sounding V8. Not to be biased or anything, but yeah. I love how it sounds. Welcome travel. Yeah.
Newer BMW, but this thing's probably going to stay in the fleet for a while. You don't have any plans of switching it up?
No. I might retire it soon if I find the right chassis to kind of like be more competitive with.
Maybe just make this more of a shop car.
A shop car, yeah.
For sure. So tell me about the origins of Skreet Garage and what pretty much inspired you to do it, and what the opening and the introduction of Skreet Garage itself looked like. So
basically, I did a lot of street drifting back in the day, like 3-4 years ago. Street drifting, I'm just like, you know what? And I bought this house actually like 2.5 years ago, and I came in a garage. I'm like, hey, I'm about to start something, like I want to make my own gig, have my own joint, and this come up, and like I still street drift, around those times. So I'm like, I was thinking, what should I name my garage, because I do a lot of work in it already, or not a lot of work, but like personal work, you know.
Yeah.
And
do you have a mechanical background, like in high school?
No,
were you
not at
working
all.
on
It's all experience, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like I just learned through like kind of like I don't know, like experience.
Yeah, for sure. Doing it yourself, getting hands on.
Yeah.
But you're not formally trained to do this. But obviously, you do a hell of a good job at it. And you are experienced enough.
Surprisingly, yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So came up with a Skreet Garage because there's already a Skreet Garage, you know, locally. And I'm like, I'm not gonna steal dirt, you know. So I kind of like alter it a little bit, you know, change the letter. But like, yeah.
So your Skreet Garage.
Skreet Garage.
And how long? That was about a year, 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago, yeah.
Okay. And then just recently, it's your full-time job. You're doing this full-time now, taking on clients.
Yeah.
Do you know roughly how many cars you've completed or worked on in the last couple of years?
Completed?
Yeah. Over a dozen, over 20.
I'd say like full paint, like good panels and all that stuff, like, or it's just like cars in general.
Just cars in general. You've had a good amount of cars in here.
20, 30, something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Repeat customers too? Do people? Yeah. People come back.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you spraying in here too? Are you painting here, or do you paint
no,
in a booth?
I rent a booth in Renton.
Nice.
But like, if it was my car, I spray in here because you know, hobbyist. Yeah, but yeah, I rent a booth in Renton if I'm doing like customers' car and stuff.
Did you spray this car yourself?
Yeah, I sprayed it myself.
Okay, tell me a little bit about the process of tearing it down and getting it ready for paint, and what made you decide the Viper Red?
So basically, I just got tired of black. Black just shows so much imperfection, like if you don't detail it as often.
Yeah, for sure.
Got tired of it, and one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna paint my car red, you know. And happened to have Derek that he got like extra paint or like a paint that he didn't use. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, he was cutting my hair and stuff. Shout out to Derek again.
Was it that man Derek?
That man Derek.
Oh shit, that Derek.
Yeah, that Derek. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good guy. Talented dude. You know.
I've been watching his Instagram over like the last 6 months, and he did a Q&A on his story like a week ago. Just people asking what he does, and every time someone asked, he said that he does something different because he's going to school, he's doing YouTube, he's a barber,
he's a hustler,
he's a bartender, he's doing. I mean, I always wonder what people do to earn, because he obviously has a bunch of builds that he puts a bunch of money into, but he is working very fucking hard to get those things done.
I respect that that guy's hustle because like he's a entrepreneur. I'd say
entrepreneur for sure.
He hustle like he cuts hair. I think he bartends now. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
So he bartends now and stuff. So like very talented dude. Like he shoots cars too.
Yeah.
But I think
definitely check out Derek's channel. We'll have it on the bottom of the screen here. He just finished an S14 Zenki that he painted candy apple red.
Yeah.
And he's got a Varis wide body
he's working on it. Right
GT86 that he's about to paint. Hopefully that thing turns out great. He's been building that for a while. Yeah. But enough about Derek. So you got the paint from him?
Yeah, I got the paint from him. Hooked me up, hooked me up with a haircut, hooked me up with a paint. So I'm like, hell yeah,
For sure.
Painted it, like after like 2 weeks, got the paint. Like I was still debating and stuff. And like we just basically like I had a couple of friends that came over here, smoked a little, some devil's lettuce and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to say it on camera.
It's legal.
Oh, it's legal, yeah. You're right. Yeah, so we just basically, they helped me sand it off and shot it in my booth.
For sure. Good. Was it a pretty successful paint? I mean, obviously.
It was.
It came
honestly,
out
when I first did it, it was dope. It was like, wow, like you shot in a garage.
For sure.
But obviously it crashed, had to respray it, it didn't turn out as good, so.
Now we have a livery covering some of the
some
imperfections.
Yeah. It is what it is.
I mean, now it looks like a full-on time attack race car that's ready to hit Pikes Peak tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So a couple months ago, when I first saw this car, it had the 326 power wing on the back of it. But now you're running the APR splitter, or spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
What was your reasoning behind switching it up?
So, I just don't want my car to look like anybody else's car. So, yeah.
For sure. And it's an authentic 326 power wing?
No. It was a rep. That was like my fourth rep 326.
Oh, you went through a couple of them?
Yeah. But Yeah, so I put that in retirement and just went legit APR. Couldn't go wrong. You know?
Yeah, I love the spoiler. It definitely looks good on this thing. Did you notice any improvement in the...
I haven't really tried because, like, I don't want to drive on the street, you know, like, like, not street drifting and stuff, you know. I don't want to, like, go...
How is this thing geared? I mean, on the freeway, it's 6-speed, right?
6-speed, cruise in 5th.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, it's not screaming. I know a couple of people that throw V8s don't really know how to gear their cars, and they're sitting at the top of 5th at 4,500 RPMs, just no matter where they go. But that's good. Because, I mean, these were 6-speed from the factory. Or was this 5-speed from the factory?
5-speed from the factory.
Okay. What ratio diff is it? Is it
I'm
stock
not sure,
diff?
honestly. It has a BRZ diff.
Oh, it does have a BRZ?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure, honestly, what gearing it is, but it holds up pretty good.
It works?
Yeah.
Is it a welded diff? Is it locked up? A VLSD?
VLSD.
It is VLSD.
Yeah.
Have you had any problems with it opening up?
No, I hit 3-8 bank. I was expecting to open up, but no. Like, smoke show.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet this thing fucking blows smoke from the rear.
Yeah, like, Spirit Peaks, like, brand new tires, 3 laps.
For sure. And so tell me a little bit about the Tyrant wheel setup. I know that on the front you've got the TE37 SLs up front. What spec are they? I know that they're 18s.
They're 18 by 10.5 plus 22.
All the way around, all 4 corners?
Yeah, all 4
when you do have them on?
Yeah.
Because are these your drift spares normally?
Yeah,
in the background?
they're Wet Sport TC10s, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah, they're all 245, 45 all the way around. For my steers though, I'm running Bolinos with the Perry something. I don't know how to
I've heard a lot of good things about these Bolinos, especially in the rain.
Hands down, they're like super grippy. Like I couldn't complain. Like that was my biggest issue with this car. Like it doesn't have grip. But like as soon as I changed to Bolinos and at least like decent brand new tires in the back, like I get all the traction I need.
That's good. Is it gripped up in the rear end? What arms are back there, or is it? What's simple back there?
OEM, baby.
OEM? Just through the
OEM, yeah.
But obviously it's got coilovers in the back. Yeah. Is this all PBM, powered by Max stuff?
PBM, yes.
Can't go wrong with the Gold company.
No. I heard like my friend visited their shop.
Down in Cali.
It was the cleanest shop ever.
Yeah, they definitely have, I would say, a knack for perfection.
Yeah.
I mean, I have had a couple people come on and say that they've had coilovers break after a time or two, or not a time or two, but like abuse. But I mean, any car that you're on
is a wear and tear.
It's wear and tear. Yeah. But also, on the other hand, the people that have told me that the PBM has replaced the parts.
They have
when they go on,
and all that stuff,
which is good. So yeah, PBM, they make good coilovers, good suspension pieces, and then you got the Godspeed adjustable front. The Megan front.
Megan and the Easy Knuckles B2.
Yes,
surprisingly, it's more than enough for my needs.
All stock brakes underneath it, the IS300 brakes.
Just like braided lines and all that stuff.
Nice. And then let's see, let's stray away from the IS300 for a second. What was the first car that you ever got that really put you into motorsports, or was there someone in high school that you looked up to that had a cool car that got you into motorsports, or where does your love for cars come from?
Honestly, I wasn't into cars back in high school. Like, I was just like, whatever, y'all into cars, cool.
Yeah.
But I started hanging out with, like, older folks, like, they were, like, I was the youngest one in our group back then. So, like, back in high school, I got introduced to, Honda scene.
Yeah.
So I'm a Honda guy at heart. So
I think we all are.
Yeah,
which is funny.
So my first car was CRX. It was just like stock D15 shit bucket. But I love it. Because that's your first car. That's your very first.
Is that in high school or is that?
My senior year.
Yeah. Did you ever get hands on it? Did you ever modify it?
So basically, I just put exhaust on it because it was open header. After that, transferred under my name, got a title. I got tired of it. Sold it. Got me an EJ hatch from EJ hatch to EK. And EK got stolen.
Oh no!
But it is what it is. It's just it feels like Honda scene. You gotta know the people in the Honda scene before you get in it.
Where'd you get your first taste for like rear-wheel drive, shitbox drift cars?
So after my car got stolen, it was a blessing in disguise because I bought my very first 350Z back in 2013.
Okay. Was the market for 350Zs when it was... Because the market for 350Zs has been so weird over the last 10 years because around like 2010, 2012, they were 10 grand because they were pretty much new
like
cars.
15 grand, dude,
yeah,
honestly.
for sure. And you go to a dealership, they're 20, 25 because they're 5 or 6 year old cars. Mm-hmm. And then around 2015, 2016, I was seeing them for like 5 grand, 6 grand all day long.
They knows that, dude. So yeah, I got my Z around that time, and I'm just like, rear-wheel drive. I was trying to get into like drifting and all that stuff.
It was manual.
Hardtop,
black.
Yeah.
Was it black?
It was red.
It was red? Oh, man, I want a red Z33 so bad.
So, that was my baby. I've owned that for 5 years, swapped the motor in there. I put a fully built DE motor in there.
Nice.
From Team Menace.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're
nice.
green with the Z. Yeah. They parted it out. So I bought their motor for hella cheap. The homie hooked me up. So yeah, I got this motor for hella cheap. Picked it up, swapped it in there. And a couple months later, I'm just like, tired of this car. I want to move on.
After 5 years, it's crazy that you could put so much work into a car and then just be like, all right, I'm ready for another one.
Yeah. So basically, I sold it because I wanted a Skyline,
Okay.
And
we've all had that mistake where you sell your baby to get a shitbox Nissan. So tell me about, did you end up getting your Skyline?
Yep, I imported my own Skyline.
There you go. What year was this? R32, I'm guessing?
R32, yes. It's on a GTSD with like RB25 turbo. It has a lot of goodies. Zero rust, so,
When it was imported, was it already modified, or did you import it and start
It was already modified.
Nice. Was it a drift car, or was it more of just a
It's more of a street car, yeah.
Nice. Sedan or two-door?
Two-door.
Nice.
With a GTR front end.
Hell yeah. What color?
It was black originally, but I got it painted yellow.
No way.
Yeah, so back in 2018, if you see a yellow Skyline, that's probably...
Was it on white AVSs?
No, it was on white work
Kiwanis.
No. It was the 5-spoke super OG ones. Rezax Roar.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they're like, apparently I looked it up. They're like Rezax and TU37s was like rival back in the day. So awesome. I was like, oh, cool ass fucking wheels,
So you got it painted, put it on some cool wheels. Was it a stance build? What did you build the yellow R32 for? And how long did you have it? Tell me a little bit about that car's history.
So I built that car as a weekend warrior. Just like, if I wanted to go to the track, I could take it to the track, but like not fully drift car, I've owned that car for like 4 months, I'd say, because it was having me so much, it's giving me so much issues.
RB issue? Was it the engine that was running into issues?
Yes, unfortunately. And I found hella stuff that's, like really messed up with the car, like a lot of shortcuts done to it.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I'm tired, like, I'm over this car, like, I just want to, like, kind of, like, let it go. Yeah.
Did you regret the process of having the R32? Did you miss your 350Z? Was it kind of
I did miss it because, like, that was, like, my, like, that's how people know me.
Yeah.
Like,
that was the build.
Z, yeah, that was the build. Like, Rocket Bunny Z on Ordens, like, oh, that's Jayson,
Yeah.
So, I sold it and got me S2K.
S2000, okay.
Yeah, so it was like a different ball game. Like, it was just...
Tell me a little bit about the S2000.
S2000, that was one of my I'd say one of my favorite builds.
Okay.
I've done. I did the motor was stock. It was just like, a little balance here and there. Upgraded clutch, obviously.
Just another weekend street car?
Weekend street car, like, little cruiser. You cruise around downtown Seattle and stuff,
My dad had an S2000 when I was in high school. It had the carbon fiber Megan hardtop on it.
Yeah.
It's a hard-ass car. And I remember taking it to one of my first car shows because my S13 was broken or something. Yeah. And that S2000 was the fastest I've ever gone on the street. I mean,
they were fun.
Buck 50 getting on the freeway, top of fourth gear, just fucking screaming.
They're on rails.
They're insane cars. Very underrated. I mean, obviously people know the power of an S2000, but when you're behind the wheel of it, it doesn't even...
It's crazy because, like, people are like, oh, it's like a Miata on steroids.
No,
it's not. It's different. It's different.
it's literally double a Miata.
Yeah.
Triple, quadruple a Miata.
Yeah.
It's not even built by Honda.
Facts. Yeah, so I throw spoon kit on it. Not real spoon, but like, Group A and Shine. Spoon hardtops, spoon rear bumper, spoon fenders, flares, spoon front end.
You definitely have some good taste for aftermarket body panels.
Yeah, and threw some T37 on it. I'm not sure if it was real or not, but like I didn't really care.
Yeah. Been there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about rep wheels? Obviously, you have real wheels on the IS.
Yeah.
Do you have any disdain for fake wheels in the wheel game?
I've run fake wheels. Honestly, I've had like fake and real wheels. Like, there's nothing
whatever
wrong.
The budget allows.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with rocking fake wheels. Like people are like, oh, use them rips. I'm like, so what?
He probably drives better than you.
Yeah, facts.
For sure.
Like I've had like real wheels. I had Rega Master, and that thing cracks like a.
Really?
Like
so you had some Evos crack? Were they Regmaster Evos?
Evo 2s and a Primatus.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
And they cracked. Damn. Those are some hefty wheels, too.
Yeah. They're Almighty Gray finished. I was running it last year on this car. And actually sold it to Chelsea Denova.
Really?
Yeah, shout out to Chelsea.
It's so funny. I'm in, obviously, all the drift car groups on Facebook and everything, and Chelsea's just a part of every group as well. So just to see someone that's...
He's like a local dude.
Literally winning Formula Drift competitions.
Insane.
And then we're talking to him on Facebook. And, I mean, Chelsea is one of the most down-to-earth drifters in the Pacific Northwest.
He's real as fuck.
No matter where you get him, he's Chelsea Denova everywhere. And he's never faked anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool dude. You ended up selling some wheels to him.
His wife met up with us on the way to Portland, so I just did a transaction.
That's awesome.
Smoothest transaction ever.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So about the IS, let's talk about maybe some future plans that you have with it. Do you have any drift events coming up that you're going to drive at?
So I think we're heading Spirit Peaks on the 28th, August 28th, and I'm doing a team tandem again with the same team, and we got a new teammate, so just y'all see who's the new teammate.
All right, stay tuned. Follow Skreet Garage on Instagram to see who they're competing with. That's at Evergreen Team Tandem.
Yeah, Team Tandem.
Sweet. That's going to be your third time competing in...
Third time in
Sweet.
Team Tandem, yeah.
Not in the car community, there have been a couple claims of not being truthful in the ads, or have you ever been scammed out of parts, buying something that you thought was real, buying something that was broken, not finding out until you got it home, or buying a lemon car that ended up being a piece of shit? Have you ever been scammed buying something in this scene?
I wouldn't say scammed, but honestly, if you're buying some stuff, that's your own. If you mess up buying stuff, that's all you. Yeah. Because you bought used stuff. If you want brand new, buy it brand new. But used, you can't really expect so much from buying used parts, because it's used parts
for sure.
But no, I haven't been scammed or anything, because I take responsibility.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to do to the IS coming up, modifications wise, or are you just pretty happy with how it's sitting right now?
Right now, I want to refresh it. Honestly, I feel bad because I got cracked panels, cracked fenders,
want to bring it back to its showroom glory.
Yeah, pretty much. I want it to bring it back to its prime. Kind of deal.
For sure. And obviously, it's a gorgeous car now, and people on Instagram definitely like it, and you drive this thing how it should be driven. You drive it like an animal.
I try to.
Tell me a little bit about, street drifting this thing, and some of the stories that you have possibly getting pulled over, getting in trouble.
Honestly, when we street drift, we don't go to super crowded area. We go to super secluded warehouses and stuff. We don't really street drift anymore. If we do street drift, we're on cul-de-sac or whatever, secluded.
Yeah, for sure.
But as far as street drifting, we go warehouses and stuff.
I saw you went out with Introvertical Jakey in the S14 a couple weeks ago, and the guys from Oshuno.
Oshuno, yeah. Shout out to Oshuno, Introvertical.
We're we kind of grew up in the same group. So eventually we're going to have the Oshuno boys. Over on. He's building his IS right now.
Yeah, solid.
It's probably going to compete with this thing for one of the baddest ISs.
We're actually, I don't know if I should spill the tea, but, we're already here. We're going to match colors.
Oh, I did see that on his story that you guys are going to paint him the same color.
Yeah.
All right, so if you guys don't know, the boys over at Oshuno are, that's how you pronounce it, right?
Oshuno, yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Better than the last name that I was not allowed to say.
yeah.
But Oshuno boys, they are building, who's building the IS? It's
Ryan.
Ryan has the IS. It's a 2JZ turbo with all the arms. He just got all the arms from SPL, not SPL. He just got a bunch of aftermarket control arms. He's building that thing to be an absolute animal. It's got the BN kit, and obviously you guys are going to match colors now. Yeah. Do you have a color in mind? Obviously you're not going to share it with them now.
Not yet. Y'all see.
We'll pick it out.
Stay tuned.
You're going to maybe do a little bit of a flake, or are you just down for just bare?
We're going to do, so when I paint cars, I don't like the extra, flaky cars, because that thing looks cheap, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
I want it to, look
I feel like sparkles are usually hiding something.
Yeah, but if I'm doing it, it has to be, OEM color with the baller pearl.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited to see you guys matching, because obviously you have, exterior-wise, you guys are going to be looking pretty similar with the BN kits, and he's still stock body in the rear, but his front's wide body.
Yeah.
It's going to be good looking cars. Hopefully the paint jobs come out pretty good.
I'll try to be,
Yeah, we're excited to see him. But it's just going to be the battle of two worlds, because obviously there are some people that have disdain for LS swaps in Lexuses, and the purists that don't think that Chevy motors belong in anything but a Chevy, or only a JZ deserves to be under this hood, but you're happy with the LS?
Honestly, that's the best decision I ever made in my whole by far.
Yeah, stepping away from JZs and get into the LS.
Don't get me wrong, JZs are reliable stock, just the GE ones, but GT. I mean, honestly, feels like turbo cars are just let me rephrase that. It's just I got bad experience with turbo cars, so.
For sure. And once you start adding additional aspiration, like a turbo or supercharger to something, that's literally just something else to go wrong. It's more oil that you need to be worried about. It's more coolant you need to be worried about. It's just a bunch of headache. When this thing, you probably have 2 gauges on the fucking dash. Do you have any aftermarket gauges? Or
I have 4, but all my gauges on the dash work, so which is perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
how do you get your speedometer to work? Is it geared to the differential, or is it?
Honestly,
you don't know.
I don't know. This car's when I looked at it, I was like, oh, solid.
Yeah, and it works. Fiberglass front fenders.
Fiberglass. It's been patched already. It ripped. That whole side ripped. I told you about. Street drifting at or Mexico, I'd say. I snapped the bolt. My whole wheel came off. Yeah.
Crunched your fender a bit.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about street drifting and how you like to do secluded areas and go to warehouses. How do you feel about the new thing that's come over the car community, which is takeovers and the whole sideshow thing? And how do you feel about that as a whole?
Nothing stressed me out.
Take a second. Compose yourself.
I didn't like takeover kids, but hey, if that shit makes you happy, just don't hurt people, man. If someone crashed, those people that drifting in the circle, someone crashed into you, don't get mad, because you showed up there, and you're gonna beat that fucking dude up.
It was obviously consensual. That's my least favorite part, when obviously you're in the pit and 2 cars collide, and then they start ripping people out of the cars and beating them up.
You don't do that, because you went there in your own free will. No one, dragged you to go there.
And you're literally the one doing it.
Yeah, exactly. You're recording and you get hit. That's your own fault,
For sure.
But no, I don't like him. Do I hate him? And, I've done some dumb shit, but, I'm not dumb enough.
But you haven't participated in a takeover of an intersection or bridge or freeway?
No. I never shut down I would never participate.
I think the bridges are the most ridiculous thing, especially the toll bridges that are covered in cameras.
Yeah, it's just, like, hey, that's all, whatever floats your boat, man.
What does the future of Skreet Garage entail? Do you have any plans for expanding, or are you just going to kind of vibe here for a while until...
So right now, I'm still new, so, I'm trying to, doing it step by step, and, I don't want to rush it, I don't want to dig my own hole kind of deal.
For sure.
So right now, this year, I'm just going to chill where I'm at, and, just do what I'm doing. And hopefully next year, get my own, I might expand, because I don't want any more randoms coming in my shop or my garage anymore, because... Yes, it gets sketchy.
Have you had a couple of people stop by, just seeing your car on the side of the road? And
there's a couple, but it doesn't bother me. They say what's up, I say what's up.
You just don't really want everyone to know where your car's at all times.
Yeah, pretty much.
I get that.
Yeah.
And there's been obviously an uptick in cars being stolen in the area.
Oh yeah, especially having that experience, having to it's a little tough. I got my car stripped before, back in 2013. Like I said,
that was a bad experience. Got stolen. Yeah. Gotcha. And you obviously have the S13s here as well, which...
The S13, all the 90s cars stays in the garage for now.
No one's touching them.
No one's touching them.
And this house is guarded by the Second Amendment. So.
Yeah, facts. yeah. I mean, if you... I got gate.
All he can say is, fucking try.
Yeah, I mean, if you try, I'm sorry if there's, if you get capped.
You get capped. That's how it goes. Yeah, it's just really sad. I've seen, do you follow the Instagram page, Portland Looks Like Shit? Mm-mm. There's an Instagram page that just goes through and it's taking a bunch of pictures of everything happening in Portland right now. And if you don't know, Portland's basically on fire, and the homeless population is basically taking over the streets, so everything's just...
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. But there's been an uptick in everyone... stealing cars and taking them down to Portland and driving them down there because it's basically lawlessness down there. So there's been a bunch, one of the importers that imports K trucks and K vans down in Portland. They had 3 of them stolen in one night, and then they found them and they were all on blocks and stripped, and literally in 12 hours they had all this inventory stolen. It's just insane.
How about that? I got no respect for thieves, so if I just don't have respect for thieves.
Yeah. Me neither.
I hate thieves.
Sad to see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you have a favorite car in the Pacific Northwest?
Favorite car?
Bill, you've been following it on Instagram that if you could have that car in your garage, that's the one that you would want?
Do I have a favorite car? That's a good question. Honestly... My favorite car right now is probably Dan's NSX. Dan Wynn. He's a good friend of mine.
Is the bag red one?
No. He just picked it up not too long ago from Wisconsin. Okay. He'd been wanting NSX. He manifested it last year. He said, I'm going to get an NSX this year. And he made it happen. So I'm happy for that, dude. I think that's my favorite car right now. Because I love NSX, dude. I'd sell all my cars for NSX.
There's something about the NSX that is just every piece of every car manufacturer combined to make the best car.
Exactly. It's an iconic car, dude.
Yeah. And you see it on the street and it looks like a fucking supercar, but it's a Honda from the 90s.
Yeah. And value-wise, it's not going to go down.
No. And there was a point, even a couple of years ago, where they weren't that expensive. You get it for 40, 60 grand for an all-right one.
I remember, back in 2013, they were 30, 20 grand, dude.
Because, they were just Hondas, but now they're the Honda.
They're the ultimate Honda.
Which is sad. All the cars that we've been dreaming and drooling over for the last 10 years have just, in the last 2 years, have literally doubled in price and are almost unattainable at this point. There's the R34 GTRs on Bring a Trailer that are going for $250,000 for a shitbox Skyline from the 90s.
Yeah, about that. People are why don't you just legalize R34 and stuff? It doesn't matter if it's legalized or not. What matters is can we afford it, you know?
Sure. And we're not going to be able to afford it. Yeah. And by the time that they're legal in 2.5 years, there's going to be 10 left that aren't owned by private sellers that are waiting for them to be worth $1 million.
Exactly, yeah.
So, unfortunately, we just have to stick with what's over here now.
Exactly. Honestly, I'd rather have the R33 over R34.
Yeah, for sure. R33 definitely has a special place in my heart.
Underrated.
Yeah. The Autech R33, which is the sedan R33 GTR, because the Autech R32 is the RB26 NA rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
But the Autech R33 is literally, they built it to be a 4-door GTR. So it's got the wide body rear panels, it's got the wide body front end, it's got the GTR front end. It's a fucking sedan with an RB26 DETT all-wheel drive in a sedan.
Yes.
That came in the gunmetal GTR, the gray.
The KH1?
It's the car.
Oh, KH2.
Yeah. So, yeah,
KH2, yeah. 3 is the black one. Yeah, KH2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that car. But obviously, Autech R33s are going for $150,000 to $200,000 right now.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's crazy.
Completely unattainable. Do you have a dream set of wheels that you would want to put on the IS one day? Do you have any Hot Boy classics? Or are you... Obviously, you have monoblocks on it right now. Are you a fan of monoblocks for drift cars? Or?
I love 3-piece. I love monoblocks, but I don't have a dream wheels, honestly. Like, I've owned Workmeisters, I've owned Reggers, I've owned, all these Ordens and stuff. Like
high end.
I'm not going to say high end, but like higher end, yeah. for this market now, because like back in the day they were like $1,500,
$5,000.
Yeah, right now they're like
need to be rebuilt.
Facts, But no, I don't have any dream wheels. Like I say, my dream is get me sponsored jars.
Yeah. For sure. Do you have? I mean, you said that you may want to retire this eventually. Do you have a chassis that you're looking at to replace it with? Or do you want to stay in the S chassis game? Maybe move to an S15? Have you had an S14 or S15 yet?
I've had S14 right-hand drive.
You did?
Cookie.
You had a right-hand drive Cookie?
Yeah, I just sold recently.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one you sold?
Yeah.
I just sold my right-hand drive Zenki to do all this.
So. Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. So, but it was obviously a Zenki that was converted into a Cookie?
To a Cookie, yeah. Exactly, yeah. I bought it, long story short, I bought it from a friend of mine down in Yakima. It was in rough shape, but like,
the K's or Q's? Turbo or non-turbo?
Non-turbo. Yeah. So bought it, turned it around, fix the fitment, fix the wiring issue. My friend actually helped me fix the wiring issue. My neighbor, he's an engineer for a company.
Nice.
Smart dude. He does time attack. He owns a S chassis also.
Hell yeah. It's a good neighbor to have.
Super smart dude. Like, he helped me out, yeah. Sold that for, I'm not going to say the number, but yeah.
I'll tell my number because
I'll say one number.
I hate my number.
Yeah.
So I worked with an importer on getting this S14 over. The importer's on the East Coast. It originally ended up on the East Coast, and then I had it shipped from the East Coast over to the Pacific Northwest. Mm-hmm. But it was a black, automatic, non-turbo, completely bone stock S14 Zenki. It was black on Advans, white Advan, 3 spokes.
I've seen that.
You've seen
I've seen that.
I think I hit you up. Is it still around? I think you did hit me up.
I hit you up.
I do remember you hit me up.
Yep.
But I had it posted in January of this year, which January of this year was... The market just this year itself has been so fucking crazy. Yeah. Because in January, everything was still pretty relatively okay.
Okay, yeah.
And people were telling me that I was taxing, because I was asking $12,500.
That's cheap.
I know. Automatic, non-turbo, right-hand drive Zenki. It had a good amount of miles on it, but it was a bone stock fucking right-hand drive.
Reliable.
Still, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I posted up for $12,500. Everyone was saying, tax. I was like, whatever. And I ended up selling that car for $10,000 cash in February.
I'm mad for you.
I mean, it's 6 months later, and that's a $20,000 car right now.
Dude, you know how much I sold mine?
Yeah.
Mine was converted, and half of the shit wasn't working.
Yeah.
I sold them for $14,000.
Fuck.
But I was sitting on PBM Pros, some exhaust. It was a non-turbo SR20D, and it was a converted right-hand drive, so, and the welds on it, I'm not even going to say the name who did this conversion and stuff, because it was slop. Yeah. I wasn't happy, how it turned. I mean, it holds, but, if you're a welder, I'm not a welder, but I know how well it's supposed to look.
And it didn't look like Weld. It looked like JB Weld.
But a friend, Stefan from up north, he owned that car before me, so they did the stitching the engine bay and stuff, the weld stitching and stuff. That one came out nice, but the conversion itself,
no good. Yeah, my Jimmy Oaks, before he got his silver moss kooky, the kooky that he just put a K24 in.
K24.
He put a K24 turbo, 500 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, and this beautiful, beautiful silver moss kooky, gorgeous car. He just put it on work T7Rs. It's a gorgeous car. But before he bought that, he was talking to me about buying my S14 kooky, or my S14 Zenki, and I told him I'd give it to him for $8,500, and he said no, because he was going to go buy the kooky. So Jimmy could have got a fucking right-hand drive Sylvia for $8,500, but he didn't take me up on that. So he could have got the cheapest one in the
cheap. And dude, honestly, if you import those cars nowadays, even if you have 10 grand, you're not gonna import an S14 now.
No, 10 grand. It's impossible.
Because
I almost think that the price of the drift car market has gone up so much. Literally, I think the price of the US dollar itself has literally just been cut in half over the last year, because I don't think that these cars are really gaining value itself. I think that the people that are our age are getting money from the government and are getting money from places that wasn't exactly available 2 years ago, pre-COVID, and they're just getting all this funny money and driving the price of these cars up. So it's just insane where the market's heading. And I hope that there's a bubble that pops at some point where everyone realizes.
For me though, I like the market to be up there. Yeah. Because I own this chassis, so but I don't sell my cars ridiculously.
You just match market.
Match it and to be the best deal in town, basically.
Sure. And not selling a shitbox. Obviously, you just want it to be a good car that is a good price. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what everyone's looking for.
My friend actually called me Mr. S Chassis Savior or something like that.
There you go. Saving all the S chassis?
Yeah, pretty much. Putting it back in one color, it's just...
That was always my goal, because before I graduated, I had half a dozen 240s.
Yeah.
I didn't have big money back then, but I would buy these shit boxes that were a couple different colors or didn't have any suspension on them. Throw parts on it, make it look good, and double my money in a month and a half, and be able to drive the car for free. That was just the best part. And to be able to do that in today's market, to buy, modify, and sell cars, you have to have a lot of money to be able to throw around like that.
Honestly, right now, dude, I don't think it's... money is a big part, but, feels like you gotta have connections. Right now, it doesn't matter what you have, what matters is who you know.
For sure. And the people that are stockpiling all these parts and stockpiling all these cars aren't really posting that they're for sale.
Exactly.
You just need to know the right people.
Yeah, exactly. This car wasn't for sale till, I was like, hey, man, what's up? You selling this car? He said, yeah. I'm right there.
Word of mouth is the best publicity.
Facts, yeah.
All right, we're just stretching out over an hour now, so we're probably going to cut it there. So thank you for doing this.
Hey, thank you, man.
Yeah, of course. Definitely make sure to check out Skreet Garage on Instagram. Everything will be posted in the description down below. Do you have anything else that you want to promote?
So check out Skreet Garage, Backyard Boogie, Seattle, Drip Tea, all these good stuff. Support local, Full Deck, of course, Cody.
Full Deck Auto Works, they do good work up there.
Yeah, so check out Street Samurai too,
All right. That'll be it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Spirit Peaks, for contributing to the channel. We'll probably have this car out at the next Spirit Peaks events. Maybe do some media on it while we're there. Get some ride-alongs in it. Get some videos of it. But we'll see you on the next one. Thank you all for watching. Peace.
I close my eyes and I see dreams of gold. When I wake